Namaskar students, welcome back to my another lecture. So in my previous lecture I have started from the very basics that you have already done in your previous semester, I hope. And I have started with the semiconductor material, then I have discussed the semiconductor diode, then diode characteristics, then diode in temperature in forward bias or reverse bias or temperature variations. Then I have did the mathematical derivations, how the diode behaves in forward bias, reverse bias, or when there is no bias. Then I have explained the few approximations in case of diode. So first approximation, that was ideal diode approximation. Then I have explained the second approximation, in which diode was assumed as a battery without resistance. That means that diode can be, when diode is in forward bias, that can be assumed as a battery, and the value of that battery will be equal to the knee voltage or barrier voltage of that particular diode. If diode is made from silicon, so that was 0.7 volt. If it is made from the germanium, 0.3 volt. If diode is made from the gallium arsenide, it is 1.2 volt. Then third approximation, in third approximation we have learned that there will be a resistance also. There will be resistance across which a voltage drop will be there, and that resistance comes because of the resistance offered by the diode at the junction. So that was diode resistance. So this diode resistance will be added in series with the diode battery, what we have assumed. So these was the three approximations what we have learned. Then I have explained different type of resistance in diode. So first I have explained DC or static resistance, then AC or dynamic resistance, and third average AC resistance of the diode. So this DC or static resistance, that was I have explained. That was if you draw the characteristics curve and you take a Q point on that characteristics curve, and then take the corresponding voltage value and corresponding current value, and you divide this voltage versus with current, then what you get, that is DC or static resistance. And again, if you want to calculate AC or dynamic resistance, if you take the characteristics curve and you take the Q point and you draw a tangent on the characteristics curve, and the tangent should pass through the Q point, and then you take 2 points on the tangent which is drawn on the at the Q point, and you take the difference voltage, this delta VD and delta ID. If you take the ratio, then whatever you got, that is basically called as a AC or dynamic resistance. And theoretically it is 26 millivolt divided by current, that is current at Q point, diode current at Q point. So this will give the Q point. So this corresponds to the current, that is basically Q point current, diode current. Okay. Then another resistance, that was average AC resistance. If you take a characteristics curve of a diode, okay, and you take any 2 point on the characteristics curve. Let us say I have taken one point and another point. You take any 2 point on the characteristics curve, and it is not necessary that this point should pass on with Q point. It is not related to the Q point. Any 2 point on the characteristics curve, and you take draw a straight line between these 2 points, and you then take the difference of voltages, maximum voltage, minimum voltage minus the maximum current upon minimum current, and then you divide delta VD upon delta ID, and what you get, that is basically known as the average AC resistance. This, up to this point, we have learned in previous lecture. So in today's lecture, we will try to solve few numerical problems based on the diode approximation, and then I will explain how to tackle some numerical problem based on the diodes. Okay. So here I have what we have learned, diode approximation in previous lecture. So that was this three approximation. So based on these three approximation, I will explain three problem. This one problem, and basically, so this is a diode. Let us say this is a diode which is connected in a electronic circuit. Let us say, so this is a power supply 10 volt. Then we have a diode. Then we have a resistance. Okay. So if you see here, this diode, it is given that is RB is equal to 2.5. It means that diode have a resistance that is obviously this is diode is in forward bias, so this is forward resistance. We never considered resistance of diode in reverse bias, because when I was explaining the diode approximation, let us say in third approximation, so in case of reverse bias this diode resistance is infinite. Because of this infinite resistance, there is no current used to flow in reverse bias condition. So that is why if you add an infinite resistance in series with any load resistance, so this infinite plus infinite, the whole resistance become infinite. So that means that will not allow to flow any current within the circuit. So that is why whenever we assume resistance of a diode, we basically assume diode resistance in forward bias. Okay, so this is basically forward bias resistance 2.5 ohm, and then series resistance, that is load resistance 100 ohm. Okay, now if you apply all three approximation in this problem, so you see if we apply first approximation, so where diode was assumed as a ideal diode, no resistance, and diode behave like a switch, closed switch. So closed switch means there is no voltage drop, so zero voltage drop is there, as I have discussed in my previous lecture, that it is closed switch and zero voltage drop. Okay, in open case, in reverse bias, this is open switch and infinite resistance, but resistance is not shown. So if you see here and do that, so 0 volt, so this whatever voltage drop you have applied, this voltage drop, total voltage drop will appear across the load resistance. So this voltage in input voltage will be exactly equal to this load resistance voltage. That is why I have written 10 volt here and 10 volt here. Okay, because there is no voltage drop across the diode, so this whole voltage will appear across the load resistance. This VL will be equal to 10 volt. If VL is known, RL is known, so we can find out the current. So if you find out the current, that IL will be equal to VL upon RL, so that will give the 100 milliampere current. 10 divided by 100 ohm, so this will give 100 milliampere current. So this is the ideal approximation of diode when diode is in ideal. But in actual, there is no ideal diode. There is always some voltage drop and some voltage drop across the diode. So that is why second approximation has come. If you do the second approximation, so in case of second approximation, what we have learned that diode behave like a closed switch, but this diode is replaced with a voltage, with a battery, with a voltage source, and the battery value, the value of this voltage or the value of this battery will be equal to the new voltage of the diode. So if you see here, so we have a silicon, let us assume this diode is silicon, it is not written here. Okay, let us assume that this silicon diode is there. If silicon diode is there, then obviously this diode will be replaced with a 0.7 volt battery. So this 10 volt input power supply and this 0.7 volt, this diode voltage. Okay, this what we are calling barrier voltage. So barrier voltage, and then if this is 10 volt, this is 0.7 volt, obviously then voltage will appear across the voltage which will appear across the load resistance, that will be equal to this voltage minus this voltage, that VL will be equal to V in minus VB, input voltage minus barrier voltage, that is battery voltage, that is equal to 9.3 volt. So this VL is equal to 9.3 volt. Now VL is known, RL is known, so how much current it will flow across the load resistance, that can be determined. So IL will be equal to VL upon RL, so that is 93 milliampere. If you compare this first approximation and second approximation, in second approximation this voltage was 10 volt, here it is 9.3 volt. Here it was current was 100 milliampere, here it is 93 milliampere. Now if you see the third approximation, so in third approximation, what we have to do? We have to add resistance which is offered by the diodes. Here it was 2.5 ohm resistance. So along with the battery, we have to add a series resistance. So 0.7 volt battery plus series resistance 2.5 ohm. So now if you calculate the voltage and current in this circuit across the load resistance, so we have two voltage, this V in and this VB, and then we have two resistance, series resistance RB and RL. Okay. So by applying Kirchhoff voltage law, we can find out how much voltage will be across this. Okay. So we try to find out the voltage. So if you see here, so in order to do that, how much voltage will be voltage drop across the RL load resistance, we must first know how much current is flowing across the load resistance. If we are able to know the current, so we can multiply IL. Let us say IL is the current, IL into RL, so that will give the voltage. So in order to determine the IL current, let us assume that IL current is flowing into the circuit, this closed circuit. So we can apply Kirchhoff voltage law. in closed circuit. So this voltage minus this voltage this voltage minus this voltage is equal to divided by this resistance plus this resistance, that will give the IL. So IL will equal to V in minus VB upon RL plus RB. So this will give 90.73 milliampere. And similarly, if you find out the this voltage drop across load resistance, so that will be IL into RL. So IL we have determined, that is 90.73 multiplied by 100, so that is 9.07 volt. Now if you compare this results, all three results, first approximation, second approximation and third approximation. So in case of first approximation, see this is 10 volt 100 milliampere. Third in second approximation 9.3 volt 93 milliampere. In here this is 90.73 and 9.07 volt. So as you are assuming the approximation, so this is the ideal, means this is the actual current or actual voltage which will appear across the load resistance. But okay, so third approximation is the exact approximation. Okay, but I am giving an important note to, please listen carefully this important note. I have written here, highlighted with the blue color, this the forward resistance of the diode. The forward resistance of the diode is usually so small compared to the series elements of the network that it can be ignored. What I wanted to say, that if you compare the resistance, this forward resistance of the diode and resistance of the circuit, so this circuit have 100 ohm resistance and this is 2.5 ohm. So in comparison to the circuit resistance, whatever circuit resistance you have, load resistance, okay, in comparison to this load resistance, if you see this is 100 and this is 2.5. So in if you compare this, the 2.5 is very less than the 100 ohm. And here I have taken 100 ohm. It may be 100 kilo ohm. It may be 200, 300, 500, 1000, 2000, 300. Any value it may be there. If this value, this load resistance value is in most of the circuit, practically if you take any circuit, so this load resistance is of the order of kilo ohm and this is of the order of 1 or 2 ohm. So that is why in most of the circuit analysis, when we will do in our coming classes, we will ignore this resistance. That is what it is saying. It means it can be ignored. So it means we have to apply only second approximation, not third approximation. So in now coming lectures, in coming classes, whenever we will assume a diode, if it is in forward bias and we are asked to calculate voltage or resistance or current at any in the electronic network, then we will assume this diode, we will replace this diode with a 0.7 volt, 0.3 volt or 1.2 volt, depending upon the diode is made of which material. Okay, so this is very important point. It should be noted down here. So let us try to solve some more numerical problems which are based on the diode. So before going into the detail, okay, I wanted to again make some more important points, notes before solving the diode problems. So I have written here, in general, a diode is in on state. This is a very important point here. In general, a diode is in on state. So again, sometimes a question may be asked whether this diode is in on state or is in off state. So that is why this note is given. A diode is in on state if the current established by the applied source is such that its direction matches that the arrow of the diode symbol, and remember this applied voltage VD, applied voltage will be greater than or equal to 0.7 for silicon, 0.3 for germanium and 1.2 for gallium arsenide diode. This is important point. It means if you try to understand in circuit, so if this applied voltage, let us say this 3 volt, the E, if this E is greater than this VD, and this VD should be for germanium, for silicon this is 0.7, for germanium 0.3, for gallium arsenide 1.2. Then this diode, and if you see the arrow of the diode, if you see the arrow of the diode, if you see this is the arrow of the diode, okay, diode arrow, and this is the current arrow. So if this current arrow and diode arrow both are in same direction, that means in this case we will assume that this diode is in on state. If diode is in on state, okay, it means this diode can be replaced with a resistance and battery. Okay, it means this diode can be replaced with a resistance and battery. But in my previous previously in this slide I have shown that this generally this diode resistance is less than the load resistance. So this diode resistance can be neglected and only this diode battery can be considered to second approximation. Okay, so if you do that, then this diode will be replaced with, if it is made from silicon, so this will be replaced by a battery of 0.7 volt, this source voltage, and this is the of load resistance. Okay, so this is the case when diode is in forward bias. Now a diode is called in off state. A diode is called in off state or sometimes called in a non-conducting stage. In case of forward bias, if diode is in on state, it is called as a conducting stage. Okay. Similarly, if a diode is in off state, it means it is in reverse bias. So in case of reverse bias, we know diode offer infinite resistance, so we can replace this diode with a resistance and a arrow, if you see here. But this arrow of current with the battery, obviously battery will revolve current in this direction and diode direction is in this direction. So to means both are not matching, it means diode is in reverse bias. Obviously you can understand this plus positive terminal of battery is connected with the n-type semiconductor. So diode is in reverse bias. If diode is in reverse bias, that means this is infinite resistance, means current will not flow. If current will not flow, so this diode can be assumed as an open circuit. Okay, this diode can be assumed as an open circuit. That means it will not allow to flow any current into the circuit. So that is why this directly one can assume this ID, diode current, will be equal to 0. If diode current is equal to 0, the IR will be equal to 0. There will be no voltage drop across the load resistance. This is how we have to solve numerical problems. So let us try to take some examples. So this was the how to tackle the numerical problems based on the diode. So let's try to solve some numerical problems. Example 1. Here I have written determine the unknown current and voltage. So in all numerical problems, whatever I will give, maybe this cyan colors, whatever this value, this let us say ID, this VD, VR, these are in cyan colors. These all cyan colors, the given value in cyan colors are basically, it is asked to determine, means you have to determine this value, you have to find out this value. So let us, I have taken an example. If let us say diode is in forward bias, okay, so here the problem is same. Let us say this problem, same problem. Here E is replaced by 8 volt battery, okay, then we have a diode and then we have a load resistance. So load resistance value, that is 2.2 kilo ohm. Okay, so if case first, if diode is in forward bias, so we know this diode can be replaced with the battery. So in order to calculate this voltage, we can apply Kirchhoff voltage law. So obviously this is VD is equal to, determine the V value of VD is equal to 0.7 volt. Because this diode is in on state, so this will behave like a 0.7 volt battery. So this is 8 volt and this is 0.7 volt. So this voltage will be, if you apply the Kirchhoff voltage law, so this VR will be equal to this voltage minus this voltage, that is E minus VD, that is 8 minus 0.7, that is 7.3 volt. Okay, if this is 7.3 volt and this is 2.2 kilo ohm, so we can calculate current ID is equal to V upon R, so that is 3.32 milliampere. Okay, so this is how one can, this is very simple example I have taken. Similarly, let us say it is not asked, but if you take this what I have explained, if you take the second case, if diode is in reverse bias, we know this will behave like open circuit. An open circuit does not allow to flow current into the circuit. So this obviously this diode current will be equal to 0, because this diode offer infinite current, infinite resistance. Infinite resistance means 0 current. So this 0 current is there. ID means diode current is 0. If diode current is 0, so this load resistance, load current, this IR, current across the resistance, load resistance, that is also equal to 0. If this is 0, so VR will be equal to 0. So here VR is equal to IR into R, so that is equal to 0. This is equal to 0, then if you want to measure this voltage across this open circuit where diode was there, if you measure this voltage, obviously this voltage will be equal to this voltage, because there is no voltage drop. So VD will be equal to, just applying Kirchhoff voltage law. So this VR is equal to 0. So this E minus VR, that is equal to VD. So E minus VR is equal to VD, that is E minus 0, that is E is equal to 8 volt. So this is 8 volt. Okay, so this is, I have given an example how to solve means diode problems. when you are asked to find out some voltage, current, or any value resistance. So let us take some another example. So here in this problem, I have taken only one diode, simple one diode, that was series a diode. This diode was connected in a series with a resistance. Okay. Now let us try to think some more. If you have two diodes, let us say, and these two diodes are connected in a parallel combination. Okay. So here what I have taught, here also it may be two diode. Okay, and these two diodes may be in series combination, may be parallel combination. So here I have taken one example. Let us take two diode in parallel combination, and you are asked to find out this I1, diode current ID1, diode current ID2. Okay, and this output voltage VO. Now in order to do that, first we have to trace out whether this diode is in forward bias or reverse bias. This is the first condition, as I have explained earlier here. You have to first find out whether diode is in forward bias or reverse bias. Then we can think of what will be the value of current, what will be the value of voltage. So if you see here, this is positive terminal of diode, and this is negative terminal of diode, and this is negative terminal of battery, this is positive terminal of battery. So this positive terminal is connected with the positive, this positive terminal is connected with the positive, this negative terminal is connected with the negative. It means both diode D1 and D2 both are in forward bias. By just simply watching the circuit, you are able to understand this diode D1 and D2 both are in forward bias. Okay, it means if both diode are in forward bias, and also you can see this diode current ID1 and ID2, this the direction of a diode current and the direction of diode arrow both are in same direction. That means both diode are in forward bias. Okay, if both diode are in forward bias, and if you remember, this is still made of silicon, so it have knee voltage how much? 0.7 volt. This is also 0.7 volt. Okay, so remember, in diode in parallel combination of circuit, you might have learned in your first semester circuit analysis. In parallel combination of circuit, each component have same voltage. Okay, so if this diode have 0.7 volt, so this will also have 0.7 volt, because this will behave like a 0.7 volt battery. So this is 0.7 volt battery, 0.7 volt battery. That is why I have replaced this diode D1 with the 0.7 volt. This equivalent circuit I have replaced. If you draw the equivalent circuit of this circuit, so this is equivalent circuit. So this is 10 volt battery, 10 volt, 0.33 kilo ohm. This diode D1 is replaced with the 0.7 volt battery, D2 is replaced with the 0.7 volt. And then here output ID1, ID2 and I. So after replacing this equivalent circuit, without solving, just by watching the circuit, you can say that output voltage will be equal to 0.7 volt. Why I have written this 0.7 volt? Because as I stated earlier, this parallel combination of circuit must have same voltage. So if this is 0.7 volt, this is 0.7 volt, so obviously this will be also 0.7 volt. Okay, but because here resistance is there, so if you measure here, so obviously there will be some voltage drop across this resistance, so the voltage will be different here. Okay, so it means if you want to measure the voltage drop across this resistance, so you can apply just Kirchhoff voltage law in this loop. So this is 10 volt, this is 0.7 volt, so this is VR, so 10 minus 0.7, so that will be equal to voltage drop across this VR. Okay, so this VR voltage drop across VR will be equal to how much? That is 9.3 volt. Okay, so I have written here 9.3, and this, if it is VR is 9.3 volt, so we know the I1 current is flowing, so I1 is equal to VR upon R is 0.33 volt, so I1 is equal to VR upon R, that is 10 minus 0.7, that is 9.3 divided by 0.33, that is 28.18 milliampere. This is the I1. So we know we have determined value of I1. If value of I1 is determined, so this I1 is flowing up to this place, and at this junction, this I1 has to be divided into two parts. One I1 is going in ID1, and this another part of I1 is becoming ID2. Okay, here if you see, I1 is dividing into two components, ID1 and ID2. Now we have to find out this ID1 and ID2. if you see the circuit and if you assume these both diode are made from the silicon, let us say diode D1 and D2. If both diode are identical, let us assume that both diode are identical, means their resistance, forward resistance of the both diode is equal. If both diode have similar characteristics, means resistance should be equal, then what will be equal to? Then ID1 and ID2 will be equal to obviously this I1 will be divided into two parts, so that will be 14.09 milliampere. Okay, so this is how you can solve the problem. So let us try to see another problem. So this is another example I have taken. A battery is there, and then D1 and D2 two diodes are there, and this R1 is there. Now you are asked to find out this I2, ID1 and I1. Okay, so this is the combination of, I have taken example of a series voltage, then two parallel diodes, then I have taken two diodes, but this diode and this diodes, they are not in series and not in parallel. Okay, so the series parallel combination I have taken. Here this is load resistance, so I have taken series parallel combination. So if you want to calculate this problem, how you can do that? So first, in any diode problem, what you have to find out? You have to trace out that whether this diode, whatever diodes are there, what will be the biasing of the diode, whether diode is in forward bias or reverse bias. Okay, so if you see this diode, this is positive terminal of battery, and this is diode D1, this P type semiconductor, so this is in forward bias. Okay, and if this is in forward bias, so this is positive terminal and this is also connected with battery, so this is also in forward bias. So both diode D1 and D2 both are in forward bias, because this negative terminal of battery is connected with N type and this is also N type. Directly or indirectly, this N type semiconductor is connected with negative terminal of battery, and P type of semiconductor is connected with the positive terminal of battery. Okay, so it can be assumed that this diode D1 may be replaced with a battery of 0.7 volt, because this is made of silicon. This diode D2 is also may be replaced with a 0.7 volt battery. So here I have written 0.7 volt, 0.7 volt. Okay, so this is the voltage drop across the diode D1. VK1 I have written, and VK2 0.7. If this both battery voltage is known, then we can find out the value of current. So I have just this circuit diagram I have again drawn with the equivalent circuit. If you see 20 volt, this resistance R2 is there, this diode D1 0.7 volt, diode D2 0.7 volt, and this I have just stressed the circuit. So this because this is in parallel, this diode and this resistance are in parallel combination, so this is in parallel combination. As I stated earlier, this diode in parallel combination of circuit, voltage drop across each component must be equal. So if this is 0.7 volt, so this means this R1 across this resistance R1, there should be also a 0.7 volt battery. There should be also a 0.7 volt voltage drop. It means voltage drop across this resistance, there should be also a 0.7 volt, because this is a 0.7 volt battery. So this 0.7 volt, this 0.7 volt. So we can find out the value of current, because here if the voltage across this resistance, that is 0.7 volt, okay, and means voltage across this resistance will be exactly equal to the voltage drop across the diode 2, that is 0.7 volt. So that is why I have written I1 is equal to VK2 upon R1. That is VK2 upon R1. So that is 0.7 divided by 3.3, that is 0.212 milliampere. I1 will equal to 0.212 milliampere. If this I1 is known, then now if you apply the Kirchhoff voltage law in this closed loop, in this circuit, why I am doing that? Because if you see, this voltage is known, this voltage is known, this voltage is known, only this voltage is not known, voltage drop across R2. Okay, so in order to find out this voltage across R2, that is V2, we have to apply Kirchhoff voltage law. So I have applied Kirchhoff voltage law. So that is how, if you see in this circuit, so we can apply, that is if you apply, so A by anything, that V1 plus V2 plus V2 minus E. So if you can do in reverse way also, that is minus V2 plus E minus VK1 minus VK2, that is equal to 0. So if you do anything, so that is equal to V2 will be equal to E is known, VK1 is known, VK2 is known, only V2 is unknown. So V2 will be equal to E minus Vk1 minus Vk2. So that is 20 minus 0.7 minus 0.7, that is 18.6 volt. So this voltage is 0.6 volt. If this is 0.6 volt, so this resistance is known, so we can calculate the I2. So I2 will be equal to V2 upon R2. So that is 3.3 milliampere. So this current is 0.212 milliampere. This current is basically 3.3 milliampere. And this current we have calculated, that is this current was not known. So this current is known, this current is known, okay, and we know this I2 is basically, that is combination of these two current, because this current I2, this I2 is going and divided into this ID1 and ID2, again it was becoming I2, okay. So that means ID2 plus I1 is equal to I2. So that is what I have written. So this I1 is known, I2 is known, so ID2, current across diode 2, that can be determined. So this will be equal to 3, if you do that, to 3.11 milliampere. And this is what you have been asked. You have to calculate I2, ID2, I1. Okay? So that is I have calculated. So this is, I have given some only example of some very easy problems. So I have given 3 example. There is series parallel combination of diode. Then I have given parallel combination of diode. There may be series combination of 2-3 diodes. Maybe diodes may be forward bias, may both all 3-4 diodes may be in forward bias, all 3-4 diodes may be in reverse bias. If they are connected in series, maybe in parallel. Whatever, each possibility is open in every problems. Okay. So let us try. I am giving some more problems to you to solve. So now you are given few assignments to find out the output voltage, output current, or some voltage across resistance. So this is problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, problem 4. Okay. So this problem, in problem 1, you have been asked to find out the output voltage VO and the voltage drop across R2. These are two things. Voltage drop across R2, that is V2. You have to determine V2, and you have to determine output voltage, and then you have to determine the current I across the R2, and then you have to determine V1. This is in problem 1. So there is one diode, and you have connected this diode with a battery of 10 volt. Okay. Now in problem 2, as I was discussing, you have two diode. Diode 1 is connected with the positive terminal of battery, and diode 2 is connected with the negative terminal of battery. And you are asked to find out the voltage drop across diode V2, current across diode I1 ID, diode 1 ID, and output voltage, that is VO. This output voltage, and this IR. Similarly here, two diodes are diode D1 and D2, but they are connected in some different way with a power supply. So this diode D1 is connected with a 10 volt power supply, and diode D2 is at 0 volt. Okay, this is 10 volt, this is 0 volt, and you have been asked to find out the output voltage. If you do that problem, you will see that this circuit is behaving like a OR gate circuit. Maybe you have not been introduced OR gate or NAND gate, NOR gate, AND gate, but maybe in coming class you will understand. But you can solve the problem. If you solve the output voltage, so this will behave like a OR gate circuit. Similarly, problem 4. Here again both diodes are there, but if you see I have changed the direction of the diode. So here just I have changed the direction, and same case I have applied 10 volt, 0 volt, and then you have, and another battery is connected here. Okay. And you are asked to find out the output voltage. If you find out the output voltage, then output voltage will just be change this once 10 volt, this 0 volt, again this 0 volt, 10 volt, and then you do the combination, then you see that this will behave like a AND gate. So presently what you have to do, just you have to find out this output voltage for this given case, and for this given case you have to find out the output voltage. Okay. You forget this thing. Similarly, another problem, you have to find out current across this resistance, you have to find out current across this component, current across this component, output voltage, some more assignment, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and some more assignment, 10, 11, 12, 13, I think this is 14, so this is 14, okay, this is 14. So if you see, in case of 11 problem, this is germanium, this is silicon, and this is negative voltage applied, and you have asked me to find out output voltage here and output voltage here. Similarly, this is again silicon and gallium arsenide, silicon and silicon, 3 diode, 2 diode, again 2 diode, silicon and gallium arsenide. So different combination of the diodes are given. Just when you do problem, I request you all, please try to solve the problem. When you solve the problem, then you understand the real physics. Okay, just if I it's like I'm telling the story. If you don't solve any problems, it is lesson something like storytelling, so you will not understand anything. Okay, so whatever I'm giving assignment, it is very, very important to you to solve the problem. Don't copy with other student. Please try to solve yourself. If you are not able to solve, please take the help of this book. Even though if you don't understand anything, please ask me. Don't copy with any other students. I humbly request you all. Okay? Otherwise, you are not going to cheat me. You will cheat yourself. You will cheat your parents. Don't copy with any other student. Please try to solve it yourself with the help of book or with the help of your teacher. Okay? So with these assignments, I will come to another topic of your syllabus. So this is diode load line analysis. So till I have explained the different problem of the diodes. So let us take a simple circuit of diode. Okay, this diode is applied in a given voltage source and the resistance is there. As we have discussed, the diode, if you draw the characteristics curve of diode, if you plot a curve of diode with diode voltage versus diode current, so that is known as the PN junction diode characteristics. So I have explained the diode characteristics, diode current. So it will behave like exponential. This is in forward bias, because this diode is in forward bias for the case, so it will behave like something like that. Okay. So how one can determine, how one can plot the load line on the diode. Load line is a straight line basically. So first question arises, what is the load line? So load line is a straight line which is drawn on the output characteristics of a diode, which is drawn on the output characteristics of a circuit. So here we have taken a diode. So this is the basically output characteristics of a diode. Okay. So if you draw a straight line on this output characteristics, so this straight line basically, is basically intersecting a point on the characteristics curve. So this intersection of the straight line with this characteristics curve, so that is basically known as the Q point or quiescent point of the diode. And this Q point is basically known as the active, means actually your diode is working at this point. So that is the basically significance of this point, load line, a Q point. It means presently your diode is working with this voltage and with this current. So that is the actual value of current and voltage at which your diode is working. So that is known as the VDQ and IDQ. So VDQ and IDQ is basically, VD means diode voltage and ID means diode current and Q means Q point. So your diode is basically actually working at Q point. That is the load line analysis. That is why we do the load line analysis in any diode or for any transistor, for any other things. So for the case of transistor, I will explain in coming classes, but here we are understanding the diode, so I will explain it for the diode. So how one can draw this diode load line on the diode characteristics curve. Okay. So in order to do that, first we have to apply the Kirchhoff voltage law in the given circuit. If you do that, this E voltage is there, VD voltage is there, and VR voltage is there. So E plus E minus VD minus VR is equal to 0. So this E voltage is equal to VD plus IDR. Okay. This is the simple equation. So this voltage is equal to this voltage plus this voltage, VR, and VR is equal to I into R. Okay. So if you compare this equation, so you see on x-axis what we have plotted VD, on y-axis we have plotted ID. So if you compare this equation with y is equal to mx plus c, okay, so you can write ID is equal to E upon R upon VD upon R, something like that. Okay, and then obviously the slope m, the slope m, that will be equal to negative. Okay, so if you do that, in order to let us forget that, first if you do that VD equal to, let us, you got this equation and you just consider two cases, first case and second case. If just you consider first, if the value of VD is equal to 0, so let us say this on x-axis. So on x-axis this is VD. So if you see, if you just case VD is equal to 0, so this will give the maximum possible value of diode current. If voltage is equal to 0, VD is equal to 0, so this will give the maximum possible value of diode current which can flow from the diode. So that is why I have taken VD is equal to 0. So if you take VD is equal to 0 in this equation, so you will get ID is equal to E upon R. ID is equal to E upon R, at which point at VD is equal to 0 volt. So this VD is equal to 0 means this is the point where we have to calculate this ID is equal to ID. So this basically this is VD equal to 0 and this is the ID. So that is E upon R. So I have marked this point, that is E upon R. So we have got one point. That why we are doing that? Because in order to draw a straight line, we require minimum 2 points. One point on obviously y-axis and another point on x-axis. Similarly, if you consider second case, if you take here ID, we have two variables, ID and VD. These are the variables. Na? This is on x-axis, this is on y-axis. So second variable, if you take that ID is equal to 0, if you take ID is equal to 0 ampere, then in this equation if you take, what you will get? VD is equal to E. So VD is equal to E, that is means the value of this voltage. So that is E. So first point we have got G here, E 0 first coordinate, here E upon R 0 second coordinate, and you match this 2 points, so you will get a straight line, and this straight line will cut the characteristics, diode characteristics, and this intersection point is known as the Q point. So this is how one can do the diode load line analysis. Okay, this diode load line analysis. Apart from this, I will again explain in coming lectures DC load line and AC load line for the transistors. Okay, so that is quite similar to the diode, but that is more important than this topic. So that will cover in detail. So let us try to see an example. So I have given a problem: 10 volt power supply, a silicon diode is there, and then 0.5 kilo ohm resistance is there. This problem is given, and along with this problem you are given with a characteristics curve. So this is the characteristics curve of this diode. Okay, VD is given, ID is given. Okay, now you have been asked to determine the Q point of this diode. You are asked to find out Q point. Q point means quiescent point, or VDQ or IDQ. IDQ and VDQ are basically Q point. You are asked to find out the VDQ and IDQ. So in order to find out that, what we have to do? We have to draw a straight line. Means we have to draw a load line on this characteristics curve, as I have done here. If you do here, for that I have applied Kirchhoff voltage law. If you apply Kirchhoff voltage law, okay, so this voltage minus this voltage minus this voltage, so that is E is equal to VD plus IDR. So that is same I have written. Then I have considered two cases. First case, when VD is equal to 0, so we got ID is equal to E upon R at VD equal to 0. Second case, if ID is equal to 0 ampere, then we got VD is equal to E, that is ID at 0 ampere. Okay, so if you do that, the ID is equal to E upon R, VD that is equal to 0. So that is value of E is how much? Value of E is 10 volt, and R is equal to how much? That is 0.5 kilo ohm. If you calculate the ID is equal to 20 milliampere. It means that this point on the y-axis for the given problem, obviously that is how much? That is 20 milliampere. So maximum 20. So if you see, this is given 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. So this is 20 milliampere. This is means this is the first point on y-axis from where we have to draw the straight line. And again we required another point on the x-axis. So in order to do that, what we have to find out? We have to find out value of VD at ID is equal to 0. So second condition, if ID is equal to 0, then VD will be equal to E. So what is value of E? E is equal to 10 volt. So that is, if you see, so here 0.8, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, something like the given is there. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this point, So this point and this 20 ampere, these 2 points if you match, it will cross, it will intersect the characteristics curve. So this is DC load line, this straight line is DC load line, this is basically load line, and this is cutting this load line. This straight line is basically intersecting the characteristics curve of diode. If you do the projection of this point on the x-axis and y-axis, you will see that this is giving projection on y-axis that is equal to 18.5, and this is given on the projection that is along about 0.78 volt. That means this is giving the Q point of your diode. So this means actually currently the voltage of the across the diode that is equal to 0.78 volt, and the current across this diode that is basically 18.5 milliampere. Without any calculation, whatever the calculation we have done earlier in order to find out the voltage current, if you see here, we did something calculations. But here in this case, without doing any calculation, just you draw the load line and you can find out this how much current is flowing across the diode and how much voltage is across the diode presently in the given circuit. So this is the example of a diode load line. So you try to find out some more problem in the in this book or Groff's Basic Electronics or in any NET or GATE or any other exams, and please try to solve the problems yourself. Okay. So with this, I thank you all for listening me carefully. Please keep reading books. Please keep solving all assignments and numerical problems based on the problems, examples which I am teaching in your class. So thank you very much for your patience, for listening me carefully. Thanks a lot.